and we are going to talk about mathematical methods in physics. In that, we are going to begin with an important topic titled linear algebra. Now, there are certain important elements of linear algebra, such as vectors, systems of linear equations, matrices, determinants, vector spaces, and linear transformations. Let us begin with vectors. So what are vectors? Now there are two ways in which we can represent vectors. The first way is as a physical quantity. So a physical quantity which has both magnitude and direction. So for example, velocity or force are examples of vectors. There is another way in which we can represent vectors. That is in terms of a linear array. So what is a linear array? It's a list of numbers and subscripts. So for example, if I say U is a vector and it is denoted by x1, x2, x3 up to xn, here xi could be any variable. For example, it could be height of people in centimeter. Now, if we measure height of 5 persons and then make a list of it, you can represent it as a vector. For example, U is equal to 150, 157, 153, 160, 170. Now, next comes systems of linear equations. So what are equations? Now, equations describe the relationships between two or more variables or unknowns. Now, here we are going to concentrate on linear equations. The degree is 1. So, a general form could be a1x1 plus a2x2 plus and so on plus an xn is equal to k. Now, here ai is a real number. So, all a1, a2 up to an are real numbers. They are in fact the coefficients. Xi is the variable, k is a real constant. Now, when we assign values, for example, if I say a1 is equal to 2, a2 is equal to 7, a3 is equal to 4, and if I have three variables x1, x2, x3 and 15 as a real constant k, then I can create an equation 2x1 plus 7x2 plus 4x3 is equal to 15. Now, there are many students who feel that what is the use of learning algebra for real life? Well, linear algebra is very, very relevant to your life. Now, here I am giving a very small example. Let us imagine that there are 4 boxes that contain balls. So, box 1, box 2, box 3 and box 4. Now, each one of them are going to contain balls which will have a certain weight. So let us denote weights of red, blue, green and yellow colored balls with the variables x1, x2, x3 and x4. So each of the boxes are going to contain balls of each of the colors, but the numbers are going to differ. Now, if I want to describe the contents of the different boxes, how do I describe it? So I can say that box number 1 contains 3 red balls. That means the weight is 3x1. 1 blue ball, the weight will be 1x2. 1 green ball, that is the weight would be 1x3 and 2 yellow balls, that means the weight would be 2x4, and together the weight, let us say, is 16 kg. So 3x1 plus 1x2 plus 1x3 plus 2x4 is equal to 16. So we are able to represent a real life situation in this manner. Now similarly, you can write it out for box number 2, box number 3, box number 4. You can see that it's a compact expression and it gives you all the information in one go. Now, let us come to the next compact representation, which is of one step ahead, in fact. So we have seen linear equations. Now let us look at matrices. So if you have an equation, you can further make it more compact by writing it in the form of matrices. Now, matrices are basically an array of numbers. You have rows and columns. So what you see inside the square bracket is in fact a matrix. So let us take another system of equations. X1 minus 2x2 plus 3x3 minus 6x4 is equal to 8. This is the first equation. Now here you will observe that if I ask you the question, what are the coefficients in this equation? Correct. 1, minus 2, 3, minus 6. So now if you look at the matrix, the first row contains completely the coefficients of equation 1. Similarly, second row contains coefficients of equation number 2, because as you see that there is the coefficient for x2 is 0. So you see that the element in the second row of the matrix is 0. Similarly, for equation number 3, where the coefficients are 4, 1, 0, minus 4, you can see them represented as row 3. And similarly, the coefficients of equation 4 are represented as row 4. Now, this is a coefficient matrix. Next, you see a column vector. Again, it's a matrix. Now, a matrix can be represented as m into n, that is m rows, n columns. Here you will see that it has 4 rows and 1 column. So you can also call it as a column vector. So all the variables x1, x2, x3, x4 are listed there. And the last one is basically the representation of the right hand side of the equations, the constants, if you recall. So 8, 11, 8, 6 are the constants. Now here you will see that the information has become much more accessible because it is expressed in a further compact form. Now let us come to the concept of determinants. Now if I consider a 2 by 2 matrix with the elements A, B, C, D, and if I want to find out its determinant, I need to multiply A and D and subtract the product B of B and C from that, right? So if the matrix is 5, 3, 4, 9, and if you want to take its determinant, it is going to be the product of 5 and 9 minus product of 4 and 3. That is 45 minus 12, which is 33. Now this is for 2 by 2 matrix. You can extend this again for a 3 by 3 matrix. So in 3 by 3 matrix, we observe that if a matrix is given to you, say 2 minus 3, 1, 2, 0 minus 1, 1, 4, 5, as it is given. Now here you take the first row, first element, then you take this 2 by 2 matrix which does not contain any element from row 1 and column 1. So basically EFHI. Similarly, you have the next term coming up. Here again you have to exclude all the elements which are in the same row or column as B. So the elements would be D, F, G, I, and so on and so forth. So in this manner, you are able to evaluate a 3 by 3 determinant. It's a simple procedure where you just have to follow the convention. And the answer you get here is 49. So this is